What's up guys, it's WAZZEH and I just want to say a massive thank you for getting me to 10k. We're about to do the Q&A. I've got all the questions up on my Instagram here, but first of all, whenever I achieve a goal, I always want to set a new goal straight away. So my next goal is 15k by the end of January. Now that's another 5k subscribers in a few weeks. It's pretty rough, it's pretty tough. And if I don't get it, I won't be too bummed out, but I really think it's achievable and I want you guys to help me do it. So if you can get sharing on the channel, on the videos, I would greatly appreciate that. And that'll do massive things for me. So alrighty, let's get into it. Now there's over 240 questions or comments in here, so there's going to be a lot of doubles and stuff like that, and if I don't read your question, I'm sorry. I will try to do most of them, but I don't really want to make this video go for too long or people are just going to get bored. Let's get into the questions. Alright, so the first question is from Nathan C2484. How did you first get into scootering? I first got into scootering when I was finishing primary school. A few of my best mates were riding scooters and we were playing like soccer and footy together, stuff like that, but we're all going to different high schools and some of us weren't playing the same sport, so we wanted to find a way to hang out on the weekend. And I used to ride bikes and skateboards at the skate park on and off, just like jump on whatever one I wanted, and then they all got into scooters and it was kind of like all of them and then me riding something else, so I jumped on a scooter as well just to make it a little more like a little more fitting and just hanging out with the homies, just riding scooters. And then yeah, it literally took off from there. I met some guys down at Jamison Skate Park like Chris Hart, Rory Coe and the DSC crew like Cody Donovan and all that, and they pretty much welcomed me in, and then the rest is history from there. Next question, Henry Watkinson. If you could go to any skate park in the world, what would it be? I went to Woodward West this year, so I'm gonna say Woodward East would probably be the skate park that I want to go to the most. But if not, I'd love to go back to like a place like Corby and stuff like that. There's so many sick parks out there that I've been to that I'd love to just go back and have another chance of riding, you know, like a year on, 2 years on. I feel like I'd ride the park so differently than what I did when I was there last. Ryan Armstrong 8 said, what's your favorite grind or your favorite trick? My favorite grind would have to be a 50-50 at the moment, or like one of those hanger things like a Phoebsler. I really like them. I think it's cool, and I think that the main reason that I like that trick is that it's new, it's refreshing. Like obviously it's been out a few months now and people have been like thrashing it and stuff like that, but it's not your typical board slide, front lip, anything like that. Like it's added a new dimension to our sport and I love that. As for favorite trick I like doing would have to be probably flares. They're quite a show pony trick, but I genuinely like flipping because I'm not very good at it. So when I do it, it's like a sigh of relief. Like it's a rewarding trick kind of thing. Next question, Alex Ryan says, what was your first scooter and with the old trolley bars? My first scooter was like a Razor. I don't think it was an A1. It could have been. I can't really remember. But it was like red wheels, grips. I'll try and find one and put it right here right now, but yeah, it was pretty basic. Then when I moved on from there, my first like kind of pro scooter, I guess you could say, I had low profile yaks for wheels. I had a Razor Pro model scooter and I had trolley bars that my mates hooked up for me down at Camden Skate Park. A couple of guys down there like Woody and that went and stole me a trolley and like bolted my foldy and stuff for me. So that was like my first like pro level scooter. At the time it was pro. Now you never see kids riding that, no way. Demi Mae Carlton says, how did you get such a great catch? I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's just been a scooter rider, babe. Just wheeled you in. Jake Overdale said, congrats dude, what was your first sponsor? My first sponsor, I'm gonna say my first legitimate one would have had to have been Monster Skate Park. And then following Monster, like really not long after Monster, came Blunt, and then Blunt is now turned into Envy. So yeah, it all really just spiraled from there. When will you get your new setup? It's actually in the mail right now. I was hoping it was gonna be here and I was gonna do like the scooter check and Q&A in the same video, but it's not here, and when it does come, I have to do a new chickadee witchy woo. So it's gonna be here hopefully tomorrow, and then I'll release it maybe on the weekend, I hope. I'm going to Monster Camp on Sunday, so hopefully it comes by then. Otherwise, you'll be waiting another week. Jamie._brown123 said, when you first started, did you teach yourself? Definitely. I think a lot of people back then was still like in a real, the sport was in a very progressive stage. There was so many guys riding locally, but it wasn't anywhere near what it is now, and the tricks that are getting done now definitely weren't happening back then. So I did teach myself a lot of tricks, but I guess like the crew that I rode with kind of just progressed together and we all learned the same tricks, which was sick. Next one, what is the hardest trick you have ever done, by Tom.D.15? I think the hardest trick I've ever done would have to be a double backflip, but the hardest single trick, like single moment trick, I did a double backflip on the live news, like the morning news, like 8 o'clock in the morning in Australia. I can't remember if it was on Sunrise or the Today Show. It was one of them. I've always tried to get the footage and I've never been able to get it back, but pretty much my boss slipped in a word that I'd been working on double backflips to the host, and they mentioned it to me live on camera, and I was like, yeah, I've done a few. Like, I'd only really ever landed like one, not too clean really, and I'd been pumping them to the pit for the last few months. So as soon as the airing cut, they were like, oh, we're going to post on our we want to post on our Twitter to kind of get people involved if they want to see it. And I was like, all right, if you can get like, I think I said something like 2,000 likes by the time I do it, I'll do it. And they smashed it. They got like 5,000 likes, and it was in like 10 minutes, by the way. So then I literally had to do a double backflip on the next airing, which was so soon after, and I was just G'ing myself up. I did one to the pit, ran up top, and they were like, yeah, gave me the thumbs up. It was live, and I just had to send it. So that's by far like the scariest and probably like mentally hardest thing I've ever done. But yeah, definitely wow moment for me. I'd hate to go back and do it now. I reckon I'd pussy out for sure. I can't even say a thing, so I'm going to spell it. HORNYAKBAZSI said, who is your biggest inspiration in scootering? My biggest inspiration in scootering, I'm going to say Cody Donovan. He's been one of my idols and one of my best mates for so long now. And just growing up around that guy, like watching how much passion he has for the sport and how much he's done for the sport, he's always inspired me to keep going. And like, he's still riding today and he's like 29. So, you know, that really just sets the bar for me. And the other ones is the guys that like support me, the kids I see riding my deck on my parts, or the kids that comment on my Instagram, and the guys that watch these videos. Like, that's part of the reason I do it. Like, obviously I do it for myself, but at the end of the day, there's a greater audience that I really just I strive off and I thrive off it. So I really just want to give back to you guys, and that's what kind of pushes me these days in the sport. Leroy._.reed said, what was the first ever trick you landed? I think the first ever trick I landed was definitely a tail whip. I think that's usually the way it goes, but I actually used to heel whip naturally, so I'm going to say a heel whip. The first like kind of cool trick I remember landing, the trick that I remember landing the most that has like the biggest impact on me was definitely a bri flip. I wanted that trick for so long, and that was the real like peak tricks back then for guys that didn't do flips and whatnot. Like, bris was sick and they looked really cool and they were impressive. So that was one of the main ones that kind of like, yeah, I landed it and I was like, yes. Jack Stanbury, when did you start scootering? I started scootering in 2006, I believe. So it's been 10 years this past year. It's just gone. I'm into my 11th year now. It was roughly around this time, like when I was leaving primary school, so like December 2006, that I really got into it. Alan_BMX said, have you ever ridden bikes? Yes, I have ridden bikes. Back in the day, I used to love riding trails. We had some of the best trails in Sydney down near my house when I grew up. So when I was in primary school, I was jumping like 10-foot jumps on a 16-inch and stuff like that. It was sick. I loved it, but sadly, they all got demolished. Jaden Saruni said, favorite rider. I'm gonna say my favorite rider is definitely Flavio Pesenti. I don't know why. I think he's just been one of those guys that I'm just constantly impressed by technical ability and like his innovation. Him, all the Blunt Europe guys and all of that little scene there, like they are just nuts and like next level. So I always get really hyped to watch their videos, and I'm sure if you've ever seen them, you know that every time they drop a video, there's like a new trick, or it's just literally raising the bar that another step. So I'm gonna say definitely Flavio and the whole Blunt homies, so they kill it. Zach Armorwise_ said, if you could choose to travel anywhere in the world, where would you go? To be honest, right now, I'd go somewhere with the snow. I'm going to say probably like Canada. At the moment, I really want to go there. I've never been to Canada. It's one of the only places I haven't really been to that's like kind of standout country for me. WYS.Harvey_ said, what made you design the bandana wrap on your AOS V4? The idea actually came from way back in the day when I was riding. We used to bolt the trolley bars in, and to kind of stop cutting yourselves doing inwards and different tricks where you would move your hands and the bars. we put a bandana on it. So I've got one. I've got a bandana here, but you'd pretty much like wrap it around the bar like this kind of thing. You can't really do it on these, but yeah. And that was kind of where it came from. I always had one of those on my bars and stuff, and then from there I wrapped my bars, and a lot of people knew me from the wrapped bars, so it really came from the wrapped bars, but obviously evolved from the bit at the top. And the idea came when we were in New Zealand. I was on a ferry going from North Island to South Island with Grant, Max and Vince Kudrina, and we were just talking about designs, and I just found out that I was getting one, and I actually designed like a bandana print for the bottom of the deck. And then when I got talking to Dinny, the owner of Envy, we talked about a few different collabs and ideas about what we could do to the outside deck. Like I'm sure you guys have seen now, the Galaxy decks that Fast and dropped. Yep, that one. We had a few other ideas, which I'm not going to mention in case we do use them. But yeah, then we came to the bandana one, and that was, as soon as we did it, we were both like, yeah, this is too sick not to release. So let's get on to the next question. Atkins1926 said, what is one of your biggest 2017 goals? One of my biggest goals for 2017 would have to be to hit 100k subscribers on YouTube. I'm so close to 100k followers on Instagram, so if you're not following me, go and get me there. We're at 95 right now when I'm filming this video, but I'd love to make 100k subs on YouTube. Obviously I'd love to get 1 million, but I don't think it's realistic for myself in the next year. You never know though, fate is fate, whatever happens happens, but 100k definitely, that's what I'm going to be working towards. Yeah. And the other one is starting my own brand, which you will hear about soon. Not yet. Tyson Musty said, how old were you when you first started riding? I was 12 when I first started riding. I had a scooter when I was 6, I think, when they first came out in like 2000, the one with the red wheels that I showed earlier. But yeah, I actually started like genuinely riding when I was like 12. Lockie_Henson said, how did you make friends with other big riders? I made friends with other big riders by literally reaching out to them or going to their skate parks, going to competitions and events. And if you reach out to them, a lot of the time, if they have time to get back to you, they will. A lot of them don't really want to be rude or try to be rude and ignore your comments or messages or anything like that. They're literally just busy. You got to remember, these guys don't just sit on their phones all day and do that. There's plenty of things going on in the world. Dakota_Shockley88 said, what was your biggest accomplishment in life? My biggest accomplishment in life? I'm going to say getting a SIG deck. Like that, for me, is epic. Just getting a product made like it's your thing, and kids or people, consumers want to buy your product because it's got your name on it, you know, whether they like it just for the looks or whatever, like it's your thing. That's so epic to me, and I'm really proud of that. It's one of my proudest moments, so definitely getting my own signature scooter. Larissa_1118 said, will you ever come to Western Australia? Yes, I will come to Western Australia. I want to come to WA soon. I don't know when. Hopefully this year. I've never been to WA. I've only ever been to the east coast of Australia. So keep me to it. In the next like 2 years, I'm going to say, to give myself some leeway, I will be in WA. So get keen. _D Sherry _ said, where did your name come from? My name came from me saying a lot back in the day. When I was really little, it was WAZZEH, because a lot of kids couldn't say Warwick. I don't know why I got such a weird name, but I did, and people just couldn't say Warwick. Just wasn't really comfortable for them or common, and I think that's part of the issue. So everyone just called me WAZZEH, which is super common nickname to anyone that starts with a W in Australia. And then yeah, I grew up saying a lot. Like people were like, yo, what are you doing this weekend? About not too much, man. What about you? So then it just evolved from there, and a couple of homies, you know, just kind of started taking the piss, saying was, and then yeah, WAZZEH evolved from there. Aaron Johns 4 said, where did WAZZEH Wednesdays come from? WAZZEH Wednesdays started way back when I first started riding for Monster and working at Monster. They wanted to make a scooter specific night, and Wednesdays was the night that they nominated, and I'm like, yeah, WAZZEH Wednesdays, because it was scooters only, and it literally stuck from there. So it's been around for literally like 6 years now, or something like that. Like it's been a thing for ages. I've only started dropping these videos recently, since I rebought a camera and stuff like that, and just, you know, doing this whole YouTube ting, man. Jackson.m1, what's your goal in YouTube? Like, my goal in YouTube would definitely have to be to make a sustainable living. I'm not going to say like an amount of subscribers. Like obviously 1 million is sick. Like I really want to get there, but that's nuts. And I already said 100k before. But just to make a sustainable living of it, like I feel like it's a career choice that I'd love to do. When I was younger, kind of thing, like I wanted to play soccer and do sports and whatever else, but I really feel like I'm creative and I like digital content. I've always loved music, I like videos, I like photos, I like things like that. I'd love to be either a TV presenter like on shows and stuff like that, or a radio host. So this is kind of the best of both worlds, and it's at my own disposal. So I can be as creative as I want, I can talk about what I want, I can film what I want and post it to you guys. So I feel like, yeah, definitely just to make a living off YouTube would be sick. That's my main goal. Heels16 said, who inspired you to make a YouTube channel? The main guys that really inspired me to make a YouTube channel this time, because I've had this channel for ages, one of them would be Nick Films. He's been killing it on YouTube for so long. But the other ones are like Tanner, Ray, the Bows, the Funks. Those guys that really like pushed hard on the whole YouTube thing. Like I was watching soccer videos like the F2, Theo Baker, Joe Weller, you know, Spencer, Smith, and the guys from Sunday League. I watch all those kind of videos now. But yeah, I think it was definitely the scooter dudes which pushed me to kind of make my own channel and do it for myself. Jackson.m1 said, what's your favorite trick on the ball, as in soccer ball? My favorite trick, I really don't know. I'm not that good at tricks, like technically. I'm more of a player. But my favorite trick would have to be like just scooping the ball and catching the ball behind my neck and then just flicking. I don't know. I just think that's really impressive, and that's one of my favorite ones that I can do. Ones that I can't do, there's plenty of epic ones. Will Moriarty _ said, will you come to Singleton, New South Wales? Yes, I'll come to Singleton. I don't know when, but I will, so soon. Jackson.m1, what's your favourite team in the English Premier League? I knew someone was going to say something about this. I support Swansea City. All my family are from Swansea in Wales in the UK. Jackson.m1, this guy's got all the questions. If you had to choose between using sandpaper as toilet paper or have a cockroach in your bed every time you sleep. Cockroach, bro, I just killed that thing. I'm not wiping my ass with sandpaper. You're a savage. Ollie.scoots, will you ever come to the UK? If so, where and when? Dude, I used to come to the UK every second year. I will be back for sure. Hopefully next year, 2018, I'll be back there. I'll be in Swansea, Wales at some point, and I want to do like a whole tour. Hopefully this whole YouTube thing blows up and I can literally just jump on a plane whenever and go and tour all the spots. I've never been to Scotland, so I want to go to there. But definitely I'm going to say like Swansea to London, I'm going to be doing that. And I want to get down to Bournemouth and kind of hook up with those guys like Theo Baker, Joe Weller, and make some YouTube videos. That would be sick. That's one of my goals. Brandon.Piers1 said, will you be getting an AOS V5 SIG deck in the future? And if you would, alter their bandana design, e.g. colour. I don't know. There's been little talk about the AOS V5s. I have no idea what's really going on. I haven't seen pictures. I don't know when it's coming out. But yeah, if I was to get one, I don't really know if I'd go the same graphic or not. I'd probably try and mix it up. You never know. But if I did go the bandana again, I'd probably go black and white. I think like aqua's my favorite color, but it's not everyone's favorite color. And I feel like black and white is a universal combination, so people can put whatever colors and stuff they want onto it. So yeah, if I was to get one and it was bandana, I'm gonna say it'd be black and white. Josh Mining _ why did you sell your ute? Oh man, that's a touchy subject, eh? Nah, I sold it because it wasn't engineered. It was running out of rego, and my mate knew that I like had no money to finish it at that point in time, and it was my daily, and I really needed to finish it. I just got back from the UK, and he just offered me a price I couldn't turn down. So I literally sold it because I had no other choice. But yeah, sad times. Jackson.m1 again, favourite animal, koala, for sure. Nike or Adidas, Nike. Alright, Nico.right, what's your motivation to keep riding? My motivation to keep riding is definitely you guys. I'm just really out there trying to have fun. Like, I love riding scooters, so it's always fun for me. But my motivation to keep going is definitely you guys. And like, to make a sustainable living and prove a lot of people wrong that said scooters wouldn't do anything for me, they wouldn't get me anywhere in life. You know, there were so many haters and critics out there that didn't believe that I could do it, and I'm doing it. So that's one of the main things. Jackson.m1 again, bro, you got all the questions. Do you have anything planned for when you hit 20k subscribers? I don't, but I do have something planned for when I hit 100k on Instagram. So if you want to win my actual scooter right here, follow me on Instagram right now, and I'll be doing a 100k giveaway for my scooter. So yeah, but for 20k, I don't know. I'll think about that when I get there. I'll do something cool. _Ethan_Samson_1 said, what's your favorite sport other than football and scootering? Other than football and scootering, I'm massively obsessed with snowboarding. I literally love the snow. It's my happy place. Every year I've been going there. Well, the past 2 years I've been going there. I just bought my own board the other day, which I haven't posted that video yet, but you might see it soon, and you've probably seen a photo on my Instagram by now. But yeah, I think definitely snowboarding would be my next one up there. But there's so many sports. I literally just love sports. So sign me up to any sport, I'll do it. Tom_OGGNZ said, will you come to New Zealand and ride Victoria Skate Park? Yes, I will come to New Zealand. I was actually talking to my mate today about coming to New Zealand. I might be coming to New Zealand next week. I really, really doubt it, so don't get too hyped. But I'd love to be there for that street jam. So I'm kind of hitting Envy up because we actually cancelled a tour, which no one knew about, but it just got cancelled. It's supposed to be a surprise pop-up tour. But that got cancelled, so I'm trying to get the money from that put into a little trip for me to go to New Zealand and just crouch hop for a couple of days so I can go to that jam and make some videos. B Andrews04 said, what do you think of the scooter YouTube community like Tanner Fox and Jake Angeles? I like them. I'm mates with them. I think, like, obviously they blew up a lot more than they probably expected, and that's why things have changed so much. Like, both of those guys genuinely did love riding scooters, and Tanner still rides, I know, when he gets the chance, but they don't have the chance because whenever they go to the skate park, they just get mobbed. Like, Tanner came to Sydney and we went to Monster at midnight. He posted one Snapchat and the phone was ringing off the hook and kids were rocking up. Like, it's a lot crazier than what you guys really see. Like, literally, he can't go anywhere now without someone knowing who he is, kind of thing. I'm happy for them to do whatever they do. Obviously, they've just expanded. Sometimes you have to let go of things that you really love in order to grow, and I think that's what they've done. So I've got no hate towards them. Bailey.2K04 said, what was your reaction when you were told you were getting Sig Deck, and congrats, dude. Thanks, man. My reaction was pretty shocked, to be honest. I'd been like niggling for it for so long. I've been a part of Envy since literally day one with Max Peters. So I felt like it was a long time coming. Harrison_Miller said, do you love Le Scooter Brad? I don't say I love him. Like, I don't have an issue when he's not hating. I think he's doing a good thing for the sport when he's talking, but I don't like when he spreads negativity. I don't like when anyone spreads negativity. So I like Brad. I've never had an issue with him personally myself. Like, we're homies. But I don't like it when he chats shit or when he kind of manipulates things online. But a lot of people do that. Like, I'm not pointing fingers. I like most of his content. Just when he's hating, I'm not down with that. So the next question is from my homie Quinny. He says, how does it feel to score top bins against Quinny? It feels sick. I don't know if I've got the clip in the video or not. If I found it, I'll put it in. But yeah, honestly, my mate is a really good goalkeeper. Score like a top bins goal against him always feels sweet. Top bins against anyone feels awesome, but yeah. So guys, that's the end of the Q&A. I just want to say a massive thanks to you guys for getting me to 10K. We do have the next goal for the end of January, 15K obviously, and then 20K and so on. But that's all in the future. So right now, I just want to make sure that you guys know that I really appreciate you liking this video, subscribing to my channel, and all the things that you do. You guys are legends. I'll see you next time.